If you were building a marketing team from scratch today, what roles would you prioritize and why?
I think what roles would determine the type of company, like the product, the industry, the channels, and perhaps the most generic version of this question is just saying, I would try to find and overinvest in the most expert talent that I could find for what I'm trying to do. Obviously, walking a fine line between sort of niche expertise and someone who can do general things. I think much has been made of the power and capability of generalists these days. And you can do anything. You can come up with a website. You can vibe code an app. You can do that. And that's generally true. But you're probably not going to do the best thing in that craft versus someone who really truly knows it. There's a bit of a balance to strike here. Early on, when we were building our company, we were talking to some of our investors and seeing across the board what good companies of early stage are doing. And the one piece of advice that stuck with me is that they said, look, in the old days, let's say you have budget for 8 people and you could get 8 people who could do a bunch of different things. In this new world, get the 3 best people that you can, overpay them, and leverage their intellectual expertise in the craft because they can now produce more than ever before. So I'm not giving you a concrete answer like this is how I would design, but that's like the first principle. I would try to get the most expert marketers for the type of marketing that we were trying to do and overinvest in that as opposed to a team of maybe more generalist producers, and assume that the production capabilities of my experts will get better and better. I suppose more functionally, I think the negative externalities of the very software that I'm helping to build will soon come to bear, in that we're quickly, if not already there, in a future where there's too much content and it is breaking the platforms. And I think anyone who's dealing with content marketing and looking at organic traffic and seeing declining referrals from Google and their changes to the platform and how much content your competitors are coming up with, I think we're at a breaking point and we'll continue to be there in that world. And it also coincides with, or is jointly connected to, this notion that we're in a post-truth world where anything can be created. And so when I think about marketing, our company's still on the smallish end, but we're thinking about even how we can do this is, how do we invest in things that are real, tangible, and physical? And so in the past, I would have looked at events and anything that's like real-time experiential as a luxury or something that isn't really economical. I can pump out an ad and put it on the Super Bowl and show it to everyone, or I can do content marketing and Google is going to scale that to everyone. I think there's going to be a lack of attention in the future because there's so much, and even what people can pay attention to, they're not even going to believe it's true because it's most likely created by an AI. And so when I think about building a marketing team, I think you have to invest in truth to a certain degree. And for a bigger company, that might be like a full-on events and XM strategy. For a smaller company, that might just be like, look, the core of our content strategy is that we physically go to a thing, or we do something at a client, or it's a podcast, you're talking to me, like something that actually happened, not content that was produced with desktop research from LLMs that was written by another AI that was then most likely only read by bots and AIs from LLMs to scrape it. And it's in this sort of like abyss of things that aren't real. That's the other side of so the first thing is like lean on experts. The second thing is like lean on real and true.